All characters and events in this publication, other than those clearly in the public domain, are fictitious, and any resemblance to real persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Copyright 2016 by R.L.Kooy. R.L.KooyBooks presents The Master of Names by R.L.Kooy, a reading by Jeanette Kooy. Chapter 4, Part 3. Plum looked at Jake with bloodshot eyes. I was with Jedediah. Tomorrow we have to deal with the new unit, Jake replied, with Tanaka Yamamoto, our physical trainer. Don't remind me, said Plum dryly, still eating the food. After he was satisfied, he fell back onto the bed and went straight to sleep. The next morning, all of the students from Plum's class were lined up outside, ready to start their physical training. Tanaka Yamamoto was standing there, eyeing them all warily. Physical training requires strength, and it requires you to be 100% focused. Tanaka paused for effect. It requires you to be mentally and physically fit. So let's cut to the chase. First, I want you all to grab a weapon from that rack over there. He gestured to a row of weapons. Each of the students went over to the weapons rack and picked out a blunt weapon, looking slightly disappointed. Tanaka interjected. Sorry for the state of the weapons, but I don't really want you to injure yourselves. Plum respectively declined to pick up one of the weapons from the rack, as he had Hairu Taren ready, and he was eager to start smashing some training dummies. Not seeing much of an issue in Plum having his own sword, Tanaka nodded and turned back to the class. Looking in his basic magics book, Plum found the sparring spell Drake had used when they were practicing in the wheat fields. He incanted the simple cantrip and checked the blade to make sure it wouldn't cut anyone. Plum tested it out on a stone wall, and it gave a satisfying ping and white glow from the blade, which meant the spell was active. He turned back to listen to Tanaka. Tanaka was looking around as if thinking about something very deeply. Everyone, put your weapons down on the floor beside you and do 50 push-ups. Plum looked confused. Push-ups? With that, Tanaka grabbed Plum by the hands and heaved him down onto the floor and got him doing the push-ups. Those are push-ups, Tanaka said. Soon the whole class was doing push-ups, all of them sweating like pigs, trying to do what Tanaka wanted. After a while, he said with a smile, Good. You have all done your 50 push-ups, I presume? Eli was still gasping on the stone floor, trying to catch his breath. All of the students collectively gave a huge puff. Ham, the fattest and most unfit student in the class, threw up from the exhaustion. Tanaka, stoically observing, said, Shimbo, Shimbo, which meant something in his native language that Plum didn't understand. Plum, finishing his exercises, had the opportunity to observe the man who was teaching them. Tanaka was a man with black, short hair, slanted brown eyes, and a bare chest with rippling muscles. Some of the female students blushed as they saw him. "Now that you have finished your push-ups, it is time to move on to stretching." Tanaka, once again singling Plum out, brought him forward and got him to lie on the cold stone floor of the outer courtyard. He quickly got Plum to spread apart his legs and stretch his hamstrings. This he did by sitting behind Plum, holding his legs with bare hands and stretching them apart. "This," Tanaka explained, "is one of the most common stretches you can do. It is called the hamstring stretch, and it will help stretch out your body and make it more supple." At this point, the pain was making Plum's face contort in new and exciting ways, something Eli found quite amusing. He could faintly make out Plum's features under the thin veil, creating a rather exaggerated and artistic image in his mind, while he was trying to deal with his own set of stretches. Tanaka also noticed Plum's discomfort, but continued on, deliberately ignoring it other than his repeated "Shinbo, Shinbo! Fortitude, fortitude!" Tanaka addressed the class. "A good way of dealing with the pain is visualizing a ball of light being inhaled and exhaled out of your stomach." He then finished assisting Plum with his stretch, while all the other students copied it, splaying their legs out and holding them in that position. The pain was too much for some of the other students to bear. Tanaka said, "Now stand up, hold your foot and bend your leg back. This will increase the range of motion in your legs and stretch the quad muscles. Your thigh muscles, for those who don't know." Jake made a sarcastic remark to Sylvia under his breath. "You'd make a lovely ballerina." Sylvia shot back a dark look at Jake, who was grinning ear to ear, trying to ignore the pain he was feeling. Some students couldn't even stretch their leg above their head, let alone do what Tanaka was asking of them. But Tanaka was a big hit with the girls. They watched in amazement as he flexed his muscles and made even the most painful exercises look effortless. His flexibility and meticulousness were indeed to be admired. The boys, however, did not take as much interest in Tanaka as the girls did. "Now," said Tanaka, pacing about the students, "you have done your warm-up exercises. Very good. The next task we are going to attempt is running through some basic martial arts movements." As he said this, he handed each of the students a book that detailed how to effectively perform different martial arts movements through a series of diagrams. Tanaka began kicking in the air. The students found that it was a lot easier to kick and move their leg higher after the stretches. Tanaka then went on to basic punches. He went over to a small punching bag in the corner that looked like it was hung from a gibbet. "Now," Tanaka began, "don't punch like a sissy. Put your arm out in front of you Instead of turning your arm, take it behind you before stretching your arm outwards towards your opponent." The students did so, each standing in a queue and having a go at the punching bag. Plum enjoyed the feeling of the air between his fingers as he made contact with the soft leather punching bag.